Over the course of the last 30 years, there has been a ton of canceled Jurassic Park projects. Some of them were drafts of unmade movies, while others happen to be abandoned TV series, unused video game ideas, and even prequel stories that were in the form of expanded media. Still, even though this stuff never came out, there has always been loads of interest in what could have been for this franchise. And while I've already talked a lot about these things individually on my channel before in the past, it's been a long time. So I figured I'd make a list of the most interesting ones that I think would have made the biggest impact. Here's the top 10 Jurassic Park projects that unfortunately got canceled. Number 10, Jurassic Park Survival, the one from 2001. So way before Saber began their work on the new video game Jurassic Park Survival, this was actually supposed to be a tie-in game for Jurassic Park 3. At the time, the plot of the movie was an extreme restructuring, and the people developing this project would get a bunch of material sent over to them that had been made for the film that was thrown out altogether once they started filming the movie. An abandoned third island from InGen, a lot of cool vehicles, and even a story that involved well, let's just say people fighting other people on the island. In the end, Jurassic Park Survival was getting a lot of attention back in 2001, and people were saying it might just turn out being one of the greatest Jurassic Park video games ever made. Sadly, it never came out, and it's a shame that we still don't have a leak of anything substantial from it. I can personally say that I think it would have been a top seller on the PlayStation 2. Just imagine how different everything could have been if this thing had seen the light of day. Number 9, Jurassic World's live-action series. Now, this one is particularly interesting because it might have been rebooted into something that we could get in the future. Now, a long time ago, we got some rumors that Frank Marshall and the company were trying to make a Jurassic World TV series, and there were even producers named for the show, but it sadly just kind of disappeared overnight. I'm not sure what the idea would have been for this one, but it was during development of the Netflix series. They were rebooting the ride in Hollywood and probably even designing the Velocicoaster at the same time. And look, they were even getting things geared up for Jurassic World Dominion, so it was a big time for this franchise. But for whatever reason, no details about what this live action series was supposed to be, like none of it ever surfaced. Now, rumor has it that they are working on a live action show right now, but there is literally no information that it's going to be, whatever original idea they had for it like 7 years ago. So this thing just sort of got announced and then got canceled overnight. Number 8, Jurassic World Origins. So a long time ago, around 2016, after Jurassic World wound up being a really big success, there was a comic company that was supposed to make a series that was going to be called Jurassic World Origins. I guess the idea here was that it was supposed to be when they first opened up the park, so they'd have a lot of wiggle room to do cool dinosaur scenes way before the events of the 2015 movie. But for whatever reason, this one got canceled too. Now, there is literally zero information as to what happened to this project and why it fell apart, but whatever the case may be, IDW had already done a few runs with Jurassic Park back in the early 2010s, so this was actually kind of weird that it didn't work out. There was a precedent for it, it had happened very recently, just kind of got swept under the carpet. I'm still hoping for something, whatever it might be, set during 2005 when they first opened the theme park up, because that sounds like something that would be seriously cool. In fact, maybe that could be the live action series. Number 7, Jurassic Park Chaos Effect. This was in 1998. Back in the late 90s, Jurassic Park was supposed to get this animated series based around some stuff from The Lost World. A toy line actually did come out that had a bunch of weird mutant hybrids like the Velociraptorix and the Ankyloraniodon, but the TV series itself was never made. This was actually a pretty big deal because the show would have expanded the franchise in some ways that ultimately did show up in the Jurassic World trilogy. But for the time, the artwork really looks like it would have been something similar to Godzilla the series or Men in Black from back in the day. I gotta say, it's kind of wild this never happened, but the big flagship animal, the Ultimasaurus, is something that everyone talks about to this very day from the abandoned concept. That animal was pretty much the basis for things like the Indominus Rex, and believe it or not, Spielberg and the team at Amblin were floating around ideas like that for several years. So this is a little abandoned chapter of the franchise that is pretty significant to everything else that came came after it. Number 6, Jurassic World Regenesis from 2016. Now this one is actually really cool to me because I know the guys that were working on it. To make a long story short, the idea was to focus on a story set in 1994 during the engine cleanup operation on Isla Nublar that would incorporate ideas with Dr. Wu and a through line all the way up to the man that he would become in Jurassic World. This story had a lot of cool CGI assets and concept art that would have made for a great time. It had Peter Ludlow, a full-grown Dilophosaurus attack, and even the original Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Quetzalcoatlus based off of the 1994 Kenner toy line. It is a massive shame that this project never got the go-ahead to continue, but the proof of concept is amazing, and I really hope that one day things line up for it to be revitalized because this is the kind of story that fans would love to see. Who doesn't want to see something that's like a midquel between Jurassic Park and The Lost World? That sounds awesome. Number 5, Jurassic Park Trespasser 2. Okay, so this one is crazy. Long story short, Seamus Blackley was asked to come back and help make Jurassic Park Trespasser 2. It was going under the name of Jurassic World. The producers took most of that stuff and just made the newer movies. Trespasser 2 was worked on with a gigantic story that would have brought back Billy Brennan from Jurassic Park 3 and had him grow close to a pack of evolving raptors on Site B that were, the focus of this new story. Isla Sorna had a large military presence that would be attacked by the dinosaurs, and this whole game got scrapped sadly in the early 2010s. And yes, they really did repurpose the ideas for the new movies, with producer Frank Marshall even calling up Seamus Blackley when they were brainstorming Fallen Kingdom ideas, saying something like, "Hey man, you got any more ideas?" Which is just like ridiculous, but hey, that's what happened. You guys know I love Trespasser, and I would have loved to have seen a sequel to that game. In fact, if Night Dive Studios ever wants to remaster the original, please, for the love of God, get Seamus back on it, and you guys do something like just add in new levels, new dinosaurs, or just finish what the man started. But yeah, Trespasser 2, rest in peace. This really happened, guys. It's crazy. Number 4, Jurassic Park 4. The John Sayles script from 2003. So this is one of the most infamous unmade films of all time. Contrary to popular belief, it actually does not have those dinosaur-human hybrid people with guns. No, this was an earlier draft of that idea where it's actually a few Deinonychus that don't look too different at all, but they do have a tiny bit of human DNA spliced in there too that makes them a bit weird. The story is basically that some mercenary gets contracted by John Hammond to go back to Isla Nublar, steal the Barbasol can that Nedry left behind on the island, and go back to the old man in order to make new dinosaurs that will be released into the wild to help kill all of the dinosaurs that are already pouring out of the islands and eating people on the mainland. But believe it or not, that's not the real plot at all, because while he's on Isla Nublar, the guy gets kidnapped by some crazy people that want him to train these Deinonychus for elite military operations that involve stopping drug dealers and rescuing hostages. It's like crazy for sure, and a lot of these ideas bled into the Jurassic World movies in some way, shape, or form. But no dinosaur man with a gun. That would come later. Number 3, The Lost World Jurassic Park's Dreamcast port. This was 1999, so this is one that a lot of you guys may not even be aware of, but it would have been something that I think a lot of people would take a huge interest in today. So when The Lost World came out in arcades, it was actually a really big deal, but its console port never saw the light of day. It was supposed to incorporate more dinosaurs, more levels, and all of the content that was inside of the version that people loved playing in the arcades. Now, in Japan, this game actually did get a bonus level in San Diego, but over here, we didn't even get the Dreamcast port, so I do consider this canceled project to be pretty significant, especially because they had originally created this entire plesiosaur-styled boss enemy that pretty much went to waste and got replaced by the Dinosuchus in the final release. So who knows, maybe they could have thrown that back in there. The idea was that you could take like differing paths, and it was basically the arcade game, only way bigger on the Sega Dreamcast. And apparently they were also going to put out the original Jurassic Park arcade game bundled along with it. So this sounds extremely good, guys, and it's one of those video game ideas that sounds like a lot of people would have loved it, and it's just a shame it never saw the light of day. Number 2, Jurassic World Survivor. Now, we just got done talking about this one. This is a game that a lot of people were disappointed to see canceled. Back when Jurassic World came out, all of this information about a tie-in video game was getting released, and it looked awesome. It had Chris Pratt, a bunch of action, and dinosaur models that looked amazing, and the game would ultimately get revealed as the story that takes place a couple of months after Jurassic World, where a whole lot of people are on the island trying to do a whole bunch of different things. You have to try and survive in an online open world environment where it's not just dinosaurs running around, but Biosyn operatives, United States Navy people, other rescue parties trying to save wealthy people left behind, and the gameplay was just like, you're just trying to collect water and other supplies like weapons and medicine to stay alive while all of this chaos was going down. I'm not going to lie, this sounds awesome, and it actually sounds like something that kind of needs to come out one day. It's the bridge between Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom that the people at Universal may have actually been trying to go with for a long time, because it was still in development in late 2016. They were filming Fallen Kingdom in 2017, so yeah, I don't know guys, this sounds like it still needs to happen. And that leads us to number 1, Escape from Jurassic Park. This was from 1994, and it's a big one, in what was more than likely going to be one of the most popular animated series of the 90s. This direct sequel to the first movie was supposed to bring back Dr. Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm, alongside John Hammond, Lex, Tim, and even Dr. Wu, where literally all of them went back to Jurassic Park, and Hammond just started catching dinosaurs and planned on opening it up to the public. Dodson shows up and starts stealing dinosaurs and takes them off of the island over to Brazil, where he's building Dino World, and of course, the dinosaurs break out over there and start terrorizing the mainland. Now, this show was supposed to feature a lot of 2D animation, but it also had a ton of CGI assets along with it, and I think that sounds super cool for 1994. Unfortunately, like everything else in this list, it didn't see the light of day, but I have a feeling it might at the very least get a little reveal in the future if the creators want to show it off to the public. The whole thing was scripted out and planned for release, but the idea to continue with a feature-length movie was ultimately what Steven Spielberg went with, and personally, I think that was always the best decision in the end. But anyways guys, these are all just my own opinions. These are the top 10 canceled Jurassic Park projects in my own personal opinion. I would have put Michael Crichton's third novel on this list if we had some more information about it, but that's all just rumors and hearsay, and honestly there's a lot of movies that could have been up here, but I've got my own videos on them in the past that you can go over. Whatever your own top 10 canceled Jurassic Park projects happen to be, and what you think about everything I've named here, tell me what you think about all of this stuff in the comments down below. Now before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all, Christ is King, see you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.